Unfortunately, not all the positive heroes of Harry Potter lived to see the final victory over Voldemort. Many gave their lives fighting the Dark Lord. But those who survived the magical war seemed to have a happy, carefree life ahead. For many, this indeed happened. They became respected members of the magical community, built careers, and achieved success. However, not everyone was so lucky. For some, their involvement in the fight against Voldemort became the pinnacle of their biography, and they faded into the background afterward. In this video, I'll talk about the main heroes and their fates after the saga ended. Harry and Ginny. Harry Potter and Ginny Weasley married soon after finishing at Hogwarts and began a happy family life. Harry joined the Ministry of Magic. Given his unique experience and abilities, he couldn't join any department other than the Auras. Moreover, at 27, Harry Potter headed this department and continued to catch dark wizards across Britain. He also became a regular guest lecturer at Hogwarts, giving lessons on defense against the dark arts. After graduating from Hogwarts, Ginny tried to build a sports career and played professional Quidditch. However, her career in sports did not go as planned, and she eventually became a journalist, responsible for the sports section in the Daily Prophet. She and Harry had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, named after Harry and Ginny's friends, James Sirius Potter, Albus Severus Potter, and Lily Luna Potter. Besides his own children, Harry also took care of his godson, the only child of Remus Lupin and Nymphadora Tonks, who died in the Battle of Hogwarts. Harry looked after the boy, named Teddy, although he lived with his grandmother. Harry maintained friendships with Ron, Hermione, Hagrid, and Neville, whom he periodically visited. J.K. Rowling didn't explicitly state how Harry's life would end, but Professor Trelawney predicted that he would die in old age, have 12 children, and become Minister of Magic. Well, most likely, that's how it happened. Hermione and Ron. Another pair of heroes who tied the knot. They soon had 2 children, a boy and a girl. They also became the godparents of Harry's son, James Sirius Potter. Hermione began building her career in the magical world early on. She joined the Ministry of Magic and started implementing reforms. She first worked in the Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures, where she focused on improving the unjust conditions of house elves. Hermione then transferred to the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, thoroughly overhauling the magical world's laws, which still held many prejudices against half-bloods and Muggleborns. She worked honestly and efficiently at the ministry, and around our time became the Minister of Magic, though it's unknown if this was before or after Harry. Ron initially tried working at the ministry and joined the Auras with Harry. However, after a few years, he realized that this job didn't suit him and quit. Instead, Ron joined his brother and became the second owner of the joke shop, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. He inherited his father's interest in Muggle inventions and even earned a driver's license to drive a regular car. Luna Lovegood. In the movies, Luna was paired with Neville Longbottom, but according to the books, their union did not happen. Luna maintained her eccentricity and love for outlandish outfits even in adulthood. She found a kindred spirit in Rolf Scamander, a Magizoologist and the grandson of the famous Magizoologist Newt Scamander, the main character of Fantastic Beasts. Rolf was enchanted by Luna, but even he was surprised at their wedding when he saw the bride in a dress sparkling with all the colors of the rainbow and a tiara with a unicorn horn. Luna and Rolf had twin boys, Lorcan and Lysander. Like her husband, Luna pursued the study of magical creatures and excelled in this field. She subsequently discovered many magical creatures, described new species, and provided detailed descriptions of them. Neville Longbottom. Less is known about Neville's biography than about the other heroes. It's known that a few years after graduating from Hogwarts, he also worked as an Auror, likely alongside friends Harry and Ron. However, after some time, Neville decided to pursue a teaching career. Headmistress McGonagall invited him to Hogwarts to work as a herbology professor. Neville accepted the offer and began teaching. Eventually, he became the head of Gryffindor House, where he himself had studied. Neville married the witch Hannah Abbott, who owned the Leaky Cauldron. He also became the godfather of one of Harry's sons, Albus Potter, Draco Malfoy. Draco and his parents managed to avoid punishment, unlike most other supporters of the Dark Lord who were imprisoned in Azkaban. At the last moment, Draco renounced Voldemort, which saved him. Later, young Malfoy married the pure-blood witch Astoria Greengrass, the younger sister of his classmate. The family's wealth allowed Draco not to work. He lived with his wife and son, Scorpius, in Malfoy Manor, indulging in his hobbies. Like his father, Draco became interested in collecting dark artifacts. However, he was also interested in alchemy. Unlike his parents, Draco underwent a moral transformation. Together with his wife, he no longer adhered to the idea of pure blood supremacy and raised his son in a more tolerant atmosphere. Nevertheless, he did not reconcile with his old adversaries, Harry, Hermione, Ron, Neville, and others, and did not keep in touch with them. One could say Draco became a recluse, and his family, while retaining their wealth, lost their former respect in the wizarding community. George Weasley. After the events of the final battle, George Weasley remained true to his craft and continued running the joke shop, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, which he had founded with his brother Fred. The shop was hugely popular among wizards of all ages, offering various magical products, jokes, and pranks. Despite the tragic loss of his brother, George managed to run the business successfully, turning the shop into a monument to Fred. Over time, George married Angelina Johnson, a longtime friend and Quidditch teammate from Hogwarts. Their marriage was a strong union based on mutual support and understanding. They had 2 children, a son named Fred II, in honor of George's late brother, and a daughter named Roxanne. George and Angelina devoted much attention to raising their children, striving to pass on the family values and sense of humor and inventiveness that the Weasleys were known for. Fred II inherited many traits of his famous uncle and might continue the family business in the future. Roxanne also grew up in an atmosphere of creativity and magic, absorbing the knowledge and skills that would be useful in her future life. Thus, George managed to preserve the family business while creating a new, happy family, continuing the Weasley traditions and the memory of his brother. Bill Weasley. After the war, Bill Weasley continued his career at Gringotts Bank, working as a curse breaker. His job involved diffusing magical traps and curses that protected ancient treasures and artifacts. Bill possessed exceptional skills in this field, making him one of the best specialists in his profession. He often went on expeditions around the world, solving the mysteries of ancient civilizations and ensuring the safety of valuables stored in the bank. His experience and knowledge made him an indispensable employee at Gringotts, earning him great respect among his colleagues. On the personal front, Bill found happiness by marrying Fleur Delacour. Their relationship, which began in challenging times, became a strong union based on mutual love and support. Bill and Fleur created a harmonious family filled with understanding and respect. They had 3 children, Victoire, Dominique, and Louis. Bill was a caring and loving father, spending much time with his children and participating in their upbringing. He tried to pass on family values and teach them to be honest and brave wizards. Bill also maintained close ties with his large family, the Weasleys. He often visited his parents and brothers, supporting them in difficult times and sharing joyful events. Weasley family gatherings were filled with warmth and joy, and Bill was always a central participant in these gatherings, bringing light and optimism. Minerva McGonagall. Minerva McGonagall, one of the most respected and influential figures in the wizarding world, became the headmistress of Hogwarts after the events of the last book. She took this position after the school went through hard times and needed a strong leader to restore order and return its former prestige. McGonagall made a significant contribution to the school's restoration, paying attention to every aspect of its functioning, from the academic program to student safety. Thanks to her tireless work and dedication, Hogwarts once again became a place where young wizards could receive a quality education and develop their abilities in a safe and supportive environment. Little is known about McGonagall's personal life after the war, as she always prioritized her professional duties over personal interests. Her selflessness and dedication to the school and students made her a central figure at Hogwarts, trusted and relied upon by everyone, from students to teachers. Despite little known about her family and close relationships, McGonagall was always surrounded by respect and admiration from colleagues and students, many of whom considered her their mentor and role model. Her strict but fair approach to teaching and school management helped maintain high standards of education and discipline. Minerva McGonagall, with her outstanding organizational skills and deep knowledge of magic, united the teaching staff and inspired a new generation of wizards to great achievements. Thus, her role in the post-war restoration and development of Hogwarts was invaluable, and her contribution to the school's life remained unmatched. Percy Weasley. After the war and reconciling with his family, Percy Weasley returned to work at the Ministry of Magic, where he built a successful career, holding high positions. His determination and hard work allowed him to quickly climb the career ladder, becoming an important figure in the ministry. Percy actively participated in the reform of the magical community, striving to improve the ministry's work and increase its transparency and efficiency. His management skills and organizational abilities were extremely useful during this period of recovery and change. Percy married Audrey, with whom he had a strong and trusting relationship. Their family life was filled with harmony and mutual support, becoming an important source of strength and inspiration for Percy. They had 2 daughters, Molly and Lucy. Percy and Audrey tried to raise their children in the spirit of Weasley family values, paying special attention to their education and development. Molly and Lucy grew up in an atmosphere of love and care, inheriting the best qualities of their parents. In his professional activities, Percy repeatedly demonstrated his commitment to the ideals of justice and order. His work at the Ministry of Magic earned him the respect of his colleagues and recognition for his contribution to the development of the magical community. Thanks to his persistence and professionalism, Percy Weasley was able to overcome all difficulties and achieve significant success in both his career and personal life. Fleur Delacour. After finishing school and leaving behind the Triwizard Tournament, Fleur Delacour found her calling in the magical world by starting work at Gringotts Bank. Her natural elegance and charm, along with her exceptional magical abilities, made her a valuable employee at one of the most respected financial institutions in the wizarding world. At Gringotts, Fleur handled various important tasks, including evaluating magical artifacts and advising clients, which allowed her to showcase her professional skills and strengthen her reputation. On the personal front, Fleur found happiness by marrying Bill Weasley, Ron's older brother and a fellow Gringotts employee. Their wedding was a significant event that united 2 families and symbolized the end of enmity between different layers of the magical society. Fleur and Bill's life together was filled with love and support, allowing them to create a strong and happy family. They had 3 children, Victoire, Dominique, and Louis. Fleur and Bill devoted much attention to raising their children, trying to pass on the best family traditions and values. Victoire, Dominique, and Louis grew up in an atmosphere of care and magic, inheriting both their mother's French roots and their father's English traditions. Despite her busy schedule, Fleur always found time for her children, participating in their upbringing and development. She instilled in them a love for knowledge and magic, as well as respect for family and friends. Thanks to the joint efforts of Fleur and Bill, their children grew up to be smart and kind wizards, ready to contribute to the magical community. Charlie Weasley. After the war, Charlie Weasley continued his career working with dragons in Romania. He was one of the leading specialists in this field, possessing deep knowledge and unique experience in studying and caring for these magical creatures. Working with dragons required not only bravery and determination, but also a high level of professionalism and dedication. Charlie faced daily dangers associated with taming and researching these majestic creatures, and his work was filled with challenges and adventures that he accepted with enthusiasm and passion. Charlie was known for his special approach to working with dragons, being able to find common ground with these creatures and care for them with patience and attention to their needs. His colleagues and subordinates respected him for his professionalism and leadership qualities, and he often acted as a mentor to young specialists, passing on his knowledge and skills. Charlie participated in numerous rescue operations and research aimed at preserving dragon populations and protecting their natural habitats. Regarding his personal life, Charlie remained a mystery to many. He stayed single and dedicated his life to his work, not paying much attention to romantic relationships. For Charlie, his profession was not just a job, but a true calling to which he devoted his entire life. His family respected his choice and supported his pursuit of professional achievements. Despite rarely being home, Charlie maintained warm relations with his parents and brothers, often sharing his adventures and accomplishments with them. Rubeus Hagrid. Rubeus Hagrid, known for his kind heart and love for magical creatures, continued his work at Hogwarts after the war, serving as the gamekeeper and professor of care of magical creatures. Hagrid remained devoted to his duties, maintaining the forests and grounds around the school and caring for numerous magical creatures under his care. His lessons on caring for magical creatures were filled with practical knowledge and interesting stories, making them favorites among many students despite the occasional dangers. Hagrid possessed a unique ability to connect with various magical creatures, from hippogriffs and thestrals to dragons and acromantulas. His deep understanding and love for these creatures allowed him to care for them with attention and compassion, creating a safe and comfortable environment for them. Hogwarts students often admired his bravery and enthusiasm, inspiring many to study magical creatures further. Hagrid not only taught, but also personally demonstrated how to handle these creatures, making his lessons unforgettable. Hagrid's personal life remained relatively quiet and secluded. He continued living in his cozy hut on the edge of the Forbidden Forest, which became his home and sanctuary. Despite his open and friendly nature, Hagrid remained single, dedicating his life to caring for magical creatures and helping friends. His loyal companion, the dog Fang, remained by his side, especially during moments of rest from his duties. Hagrid maintained warm relationships with many teachers and students who valued his kindness and readiness to help in any situation. He often visited his old friends such as Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley, with whom he had strong friendships. These relationships were important to Hagrid, bringing him joy and a sense of belonging to a big and friendly family. Lucius Malfoy. Lucius Malfoy, one of the most controversial and influential members of the Magical Society, avoided imprisonment after the war, thanks to the intervention and help of Harry Potter. Despite all previous conflicts and enmity, Harry decided to give Lucius a chance for redemption and supported him in court, which played a crucial role in freeing Malfoy from punishment. This decision was an important turning point for Lucius, who, realizing the seriousness of his mistakes and their consequences, began to rethink his life and priorities. After the war, Lucius returned to family affairs, focusing on restoring the reputation and welfare of the Malfoy family. He actively participated in managing family assets and businesses, trying to restore what was lost during the war years. Lucius devoted much time to his estate, caring for the preservation of ancient magical traditions that had been important to his family for generations. His efforts were aimed at ensuring stability and safety for his wife Narcissa and son Draco, for whom he had always been a pillar and protector. Within the family, Lucius sought to mend relationships and create an atmosphere of understanding and support. He realized that his previous ambitions and connections with the Dark Lord had led to tragic consequences, and now his primary task was to care for the well-being of his loved ones. Lucius became a more attentive and caring husband and father, striving to make amends for his mistakes to Narcissa and Draco. He devoted much time to the upbringing and education of his grandson, Scorpius, trying to pass on to him the best traditions of the Malfoy family, but without the dark aspects that overshadowed his past. In society, Lucius sought to stay in the background, avoiding publicity and active participation in political affairs. He understood that his past had left an indelible mark, and now he preferred to focus on personal and family matters. Nevertheless, his knowledge and experience were still valued in certain circles, and he continued to maintain connections with some influential wizards, trying to use his influence for good purposes. Narcissa Malfoy. Narcissa Malfoy, one of the most devoted and determined figures in the Malfoy family, returned to family life after the war ended. She left behind all the political intrigues and dangers associated with the activities of the Death Eaters, focusing on her closest and dearest people. Narcissa completely devoted herself to her family, helping her son Draco raise his son, her grandson Scorpius. Her care and support were crucial in the lives of the younger generation of Malfoys, and she tried to pass on the best family traditions and values to them. After all the upheavals experienced during the war, Narcissa realized that the main thing in life is the safety and well-being of her family. She actively participated in Scorpius's upbringing, trying to surround him with love and care. Narcissa paid attention to every aspect of his life, helping him with his studies, supporting his interests and hobbies, and teaching him the qualities she considered important for a true Malfoy. Her maternal love and protection became a support for Draco, who also sought to provide his son with the best future. Narcissa continued to care for her husband, Lucius, supporting him in his efforts to restore the family's good name. Despite all the difficulties they experienced, their relationship remained strong and based on mutual understanding and respect. She was the force that helped Lucius find new meaning in life and rebuild his reputation. Narcissa also paid attention to maintaining the family traditions and managing the Malfoy estate, ensuring that their home remained as majestic and well-kept as before. Her care extended not only to her immediate family, but also to the entire family circle. Narcissa often organized family gatherings and celebrations, striving to maintain unity and warmth in the relationships between all the Malfoys. She supported Draco in his endeavors, advising him and helping him make important decisions. Narcissa became not only a mother and grandmother, but also a wise mentor to all her loved ones, her life experience and insight proving invaluable in building a new life after the war. Dean Thomas. Dean Thomas, one of Harry Potter's close friends, returned to Hogwarts after the war to complete his education. Despite all the hardships and dangers he had experienced, he diligently and persistently returned to his studies, striving to gain all the necessary knowledge and skills. Completing his education at Hogwarts was an important step for him, allowing him to start a new chapter in life with a solid academic foundation. During this time, Dean proved himself to be a responsible and hard-working student, who not only made up for gaps in his knowledge, but also actively participated in the school's life. After graduating from Hogwarts, Dean decided to dedicate his life to art and became an artist. His talent for drawing had manifested during his school years when he often made sketches and drafts. As a professional artist, Dean found a way to express his experiences and impressions through his creativity. His works were distinguished by depth and emotion, reflecting both the magical world and the everyday life of wizards and muggles. Dean's paintings became popular among a wide audience, and he quickly made a name for himself in artistic circles. Little is known about Dean's personal life. He remained focused on his career as an artist and did not publicize his romantic relationships. Despite this, Dean maintained warm relationships with his former classmates and friends from Hogwarts, often meeting with them and sharing his successes. His dedication to art and pursuit of excellence made him an outstanding artist whose works left a significant mark on both the wizarding and muggle worlds. Sybil Trelawney. Sybil Trelawney continued her teaching career at Hogwarts after the war and the events related to Voldemort. Her classes remained mysterious and mystical, attracting students with their enigmatic nature, even though not all of them took her predictions seriously. Despite her eccentricity and unusual teaching methods, Sybil was dedicated to her subject and believed in the importance of divination as a magical discipline. She saw her role in the school as not just teaching students the techniques of prediction, but also developing their intuition and inner sight. Sybil remained an important part of the Hogwarts teaching staff, contributing to the diversity of the educational process. Her knowledge and skills, despite skepticism from some colleagues and students, helped maintain an atmosphere of magic and mystery at the school. She often conducted her classes in a special tower surrounded by crystals, tarot cards, and crystal balls, creating a unique learning environment that immersed students in the world of predictions and visions. Little is known about Sybil Trelawney's personal life. She always remained in the background, preferring seclusion and immersion in her world of visions and predictions. Sybil rarely shared personal experiences or stories from her life, adding to her mystical aura. Perhaps this seclusion and focus on the spiritual side of life helped her gain a deeper understanding of the essence of divination and develop her abilities. Garrick Ollivander. Garrick Ollivander, the legendary wand-maker, returned to his craft with renewed energy and determination after being freed from captivity. His imprisonment by the Death Eaters had been a severe and exhausting ordeal, but after his rescue, he realized that his calling and true purpose lay in making wands, each of which was a unique work of art. Ollivander's shop in Diagon Alley reopened, and the familiar smells of wood, unicorn hair, and dragon heartstring once again surrounded the master. Work brought meaning back into his life, and Garrick delved into studying ancient texts and searching for new magical ingredients that could enhance the properties of wands. His shop became a pilgrimage site for many wizards who knew they could find the perfect wand there to accompany them for life. Ollivander also shared his knowledge with young wand-makers who wanted to learn his craft, passing on the secrets of his mastery accumulated over many years of work. Little is known about Ollivander's personal life. He was always focused on his craft, which took up most of his time and energy. His dedication to his work was so deep that many considered his shop and workshop his true home. Despite this, he maintained warm relationships with his regular customers and colleagues, and he was respected for his professionalism and wisdom. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you found it interesting, and if so, don't forget to like, share your opinion in the comments, and subscribe to the channel.